Hey, welcome back. It is Dem Boys Watch Footy. Hope everybody has been having a good time during this international break. It's about to be time for club football again. And very excited to have a new guest on the show. We have Carla Espinal on.
Hi.
How you doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
Life is not bad. I'm ready for New York weather to actually be New York spring. I'm tired of this
Yeah,
second winter, but
same.
we only so much football up until the end of May for club and then right into the World Cup, which we are going to be discussing today. So I want to thank everybody again for giving us some love on YouTube, IG, as well as all of the different listening platforms that you're finding us on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Really appreciative that you guys are giving us some love. If you can, give us a like and subscribe. Also, hit us up on our Discord. I'm really excited to get more fans in there discussing the beautiful game. So, Carla, we are going to be discussing England as well as their World Cup chances. Now, what makes you feel as though England is going to have a good time this World Cup?
Look, I think that England has incredible talent. They've got a fantastic coach right now. It's a squad that has a ton of experience. So listen, I think that they could get fairly far.
Okay, okay. I feel as though with Tuchel, I don't know how you feel about friendlies, but with Tuchel, something just looks off for me with
Yeah.
sideline. It doesn't feel as though it's kind of
Mhm.
like a real pairing, kind of like what the US has with Pochettino.
Mhm.
You're looking at club tactics on national level, and it just feels something's off. Now, once we get into the actual tournament, all these things can change. But as of
Yeah.
right now, it's something just is not fitting
Not
right.
clicking, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I agree.
you
Yeah.
see it in the friendlies. They lost to
Totally
Japan.
agree. Yeah.
They haven't had a really good time as of late, trying to gel all of their players. So
Yeah.
something that I'm very much,
Yeah.
you know.
I had trouble with them this international window. I think that like the two games that they played, it was very clear that there's a lot of, it feels awkward. There's something that's not clicking, right? But when we look back at their qualification process for the World Cup, it's kind of a different story. And it's obviously different opposition as well, but the England squad performed better during the qualification process. The team selection looked a little bit closer to what I think the World Cup selection will look like. And yeah, I think that like I have some thoughts on all of this, honestly,
Okay. All right. Before
because
we Uh-huh.
I, I think it's not just Tuchel. I think that there's a squad issue.
Yeah.
I think that there's like so much competition between the England players. They don't seem to like have fun with each other. When I'm
Yes.
seeing the Spanish squad and the French squad, they just seem like teams that are really clicking with each other, and they kind of put aside their club differences to come together for the national team. And that's an observation that I've made. I could be completely off this, and I'm sure
No.
there's
I
going to be
like you going.
some English fans that are going to disagree with me, but like that's just kind of the vibe I get as an outsider when I'm watching them, that it doesn't really feel like they fully trust each other, or that, they have this camaraderie. And I do think that kind of translates on the pitch, translates on the sideline. So that's also, I think, a factor in what's going on.
But now back into the actual pits of what we want to discuss. England's predicted squad so far. Goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford, Dean Henderson, James Trafford. Jordan Pickford has been having some amazing matches in the league for Everton. He is there right
He's in,
now. Yeah, they're fighting for European spaces where everyone thought they would be probably to the lower side. So, do you feel as though he's probably one of the better goalkeepers that's going to be in this tournament?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, I think there are insane goalkeepers in general. Like you have Argentina has a fantastic goalie.
Yeah,
France has a, you know, great
they've
goalie.
got
Spain
multiple.
does too. Yeah. So it's hard I can't say he's the best one, but he's definitely up there. I mean, what he does week in, week out for club and for country has been incredible, honestly.
Hmm.
I mean, like he conceded his first goal for England in like some almost like 1,000 minutes.
Yeah, Yeah,
just a few days ago.
he's been balling. I'm very glad to see his transformation to top because there was a strong time where it was that big debate between him and Ramsdale, you know? It was very tough to kind of pick between them, but Pickford would end up doing all of the dirty work and be able to take over.
Yeah.
Ramsdale's faded ever since he's gone to Southampton and now to Newcastle, so it
Yeah.
is something else, and I'm very glad for him. Now, James Trafford just won the Carling Cup. I mean, the Carabao Cup for Manchester
Yeah.
City. So I can't hate on him too bad. Like he's looking pretty good in the established number two, possibly for the English squad. But Dean Henderson, he's won the FA Cup for Crystal Palace. But I do not see either of them being able to take the throne from Jordan Pickford. So we'll see what
Oh
happens.
yeah, no way. Yeah,
Exactly. Like it's
no way.
very hard to see like either of
Mhm.
those two being able to supplant Pickford. So got to give major props to Pickford for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna agree.
Okay. Yeah. Now with defenders, we have Mark Gahey, Ezri Konsa, John Stones, Harry Maguire, Nico O'Reilly, Lewis Hall, Reece James, Kwanzaa, and Livramento. Now it's been interesting on the backs, the left back and the right back pairing. Like actually
Mhm.
seeing who's going to be there. Konsa can sometimes play in the center. You can go to the right back. Nico O'Reilly, we saw as Arsenal fans, he was able to take it on that left back side and he inverted into the middle, but I don't think he'll play like that with Tuchel. So we'll see kind of how it goes. Now, what do you think is the best pairing of defenders in the center? And then we can discuss on the
Okay, so I think that if John Stones is fit, he has to play. I mean, it's tough.
really.
It's like, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Now that's always the thing. Like Harry Maguire, I'm
Hmm.
always like,
Yeah. I know.
how does he play this well for the national team?
Yeah.
Like he has some random performances for Manchester United. And you're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, okay,
This was like, I've spent the last 2 days trying, like, thinking about this exact situation.
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Tuchel went with Maguire and Gahey, but I also will not at all be shocked if he just decides to go with John Stones and Gahey or Maguire.
yeah. I mean, Gahey, we know he's going to be solidly in that back too, at
Yeah,
least. Like
yeah,
if they ever go to a back three,
you have to.
Gahey
Yeah,
has to be there. Yeah, like no matter what, that man. Ever since he's left Crystal Palace to go over to Manchester City, he's been a rock. Like outside of that Real Madrid drubbing in the Champions League, Mark Gahey has really like put his best foot forward, and it was just he's really solidified back there for them Blues up in Manchester. You
yeah.
know,
I was not happy that he went there, but that's fine.
yeah, for 20 mil after Liverpool tried to buy him for 50, that
Yeah,
hacked up, you know.
ridiculous.
For the wings, like I said, Nico O'Reilly, Lewis Hall, Reece James, and Livramento, with Kwanzaa being a floater in between. I really like Lewis Hall to start over Nico O'Reilly. Now, Lewis Hall, former Chelsea kid, now he's playing for Newcastle. He had some pretty boss performances, especially that Champions League, that first leg against Lamine Yamal, and you're just like, wait, is Lewis Hall actually good? Because Chelsea
Yeah,
decided to get rid of a young Englishman. This doesn't make sense. But now
I
you're
mean,
seeing the maturity, you know? So I think he can supplant O'Reilly on that left side, especially if they're doing like a
mhm,
4-2-3-1. If they need
yeah,
wingbacks at 3-4-2-1, like
mhm,
I can see him having that role. Now, the
same.
right side, Reece James is injured. He just had
Mhm.
surgery. He's going to be out. So this is Livermento's time. This is Quanta's time to kind of stamp it out. Who do you think is going to start on the right side for them?
I think that if it's not Reece James, it's gonna be Livermento. But
Really?
you know what? No, not necessarily.
No, I love it.
I think it's gonna depend on how the rest of the season goes.
Okay.
That's just, I was looking back at, like, their last several games and just seeing who he's chosen to play and who comes in, who comes off, and that's just the vibe I'm getting. But I do
Hmm.
think that it'll come down to how the rest of the season goes.
I feel it. No, Livramento, he's also been playing really. These Newcastle backs have been playing
Yeah,
extremely well. They're not
yeah.
getting they're not getting results on the
The
pitch.
results.
Yeah, what are they doing? you know. All right. So right now we have Pickford, we have Gahey, we have Harry Maguire, Lewis Hall, and Livramento. Okay, that's our back four. That's our back five. Now midfielders: Declan Rice, Elliot Anderson, Jude Bellingham,
Yep.
Jordan Henderson, James Garner, Rogers. Now,
Okay.
most likely
Yeah.
playing a three. We know Dex is going to be in there, obviously. And we know Jude Bellingham has to start. Elliot Anderson, Jordan Henderson, James Garner, Morgan Rogers. Who is that final third piece within that midfield?
So, wait, sorry. Who did you say? You said Henderson. You said Rogers.
Yeah, old
You
man
said
Henderson, Morgan Rogers, James Garner, Elliot Anderson.
Wharton.
I like it. Let's go. With Morgan, what do you feel with him leading?
With him, what? Sorry, I didn't.
With Morgan Rogers, because he's most likely going to be either like a midfield pivot eight, or he's
Yeah,
going to be pushing forward,
I think
and
he's
that's
going to be pushing forward.
yeah. Because Jude Bellingham, we
Yeah,
know plays. He normally tries to play the 10 for Real Madrid, but we've seen him have success as an 8 alongside a good defensive mid. So usually Bellingham and Rice are always like
that's yeah. I fully expect that to be the
the pivot.
the, yeah, the pairing. Yeah. So I think so. I mean, we need to talk about Foden quickly because
Okay.
like I think that this kind of throws a wrench and not a wrench. I think that this kind of changes and it gives a lot of opportunity for some players to get in here. So I think the four and the back five, I think we've kind of like agreed upon. So then Rice and Jude come in, and then we have our center attacking midfielder, and then our wingers and striker, right? So I
Mm.
think that obviously in that 10 role, it's gotta have to be Morgan, right?
Yeah, I mean, if as long as Jude is okay to move back a little bit and then play the 8 and just let Morgan go. I
Yeah.
like your point of bringing up Phil Foden. Like, have you ever seen a person drop off as much as he has? He was a PFA Player of the Year. He's a very important piece of that Champions League winning squad for Manchester City. And right now, he's not even getting game time on the club
Mm,
level. He's not even getting called up for national games. Like,
yeah.
it's been very frustrating, I'm sure, for many fans, especially because he was one of the new great hopes. It was him, Cole Palmer, and Kayo Saka who are supposed to be leading the lines. Morgan Rogers has kind of stamped his name from his great season with Aston Villa. Like he's really shaping up to have a really big part of this World Cup, you know?
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like he was magnificent that season that he won the PFA. Like he was truly and was that also the season that they made it to the finals for the Euros? I think that was like right before, right?
Yep,
Um, and they obviously made it to the finals and lost to Spain. But yeah, he was magnificent. And like, yeah, I just don't understand. Like, because it's not just for club that this is happening. It's also for country. So like there's obviously
exactly.
some going on, I think, with him. And yeah, I think maybe a few months ago I might have said that Cole would be there as the 10, but he's also kind of been, his form hasn't been fantastic either. So I think Morgan Rogers is just like an automatic, I think
I like
it's
it. A solid reason right there. Yeah, I like it because I don't really trust Elliot. Jordan Henderson, he's a great game manager. He'll come in around like the 70th, 80th minute to give a blow to either Jude or Dex. So I like the reasoning.
yeah, and I mean if Jude ends up playing in that more, more forward role, then I think Mainu would be that pairing with Declan,
Hmm.
but I haven't fully thought that through.
No, I mean, this is our chance to just be like, okay, who's starting, who's not. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I will say I am not at all jealous of any of these managers and the decisions that they have to make.
yeah. Yeah, like, you're bringing a squad of about 22 guys, and you're just like, "Okay, this is gonna make or break my career," because Tuchel, such as, Pochettino, like,
Yeah.
Pochettino, he kinda has already called that he wants to be out after the season after the World Cup, win or lose, so
Yeah, that
yeah,
was kind of
same thing with
expected.
Tuchel. Yeah, same thing with Tuchel. He came in and the English media hounded him. They were
Anyone,
just
yeah,
like,
it's
"Should we
always been
have
out.
a non-English manager managing the national team? Why was he chosen compared to all of these other English managers?" The only other English manager that you could possibly say that could stack up but doesn't have the resume would have been Eddie Howe from Newcastle. But
Um,
yeah, that's the only English manager right now. But we'll say, got to give a big congrats over to Sweden, the man of the
yeah,
hour. The man
absolutely. I
of the
love it.
hour.
How good was that picture?
Yeah, it was so good.
Love it.
But talking about English managers, former disgraced Chelsea manager, former Brighton manager, Graham Potter. He came in to that
Yeah.
Sweden squad that didn't win a match in their qualifying stage and was able to get them to the World Cup. Like,
Yeah.
so maybe Potter might have worked, but right
Yeah.
now it's Tuchel's legacy with the English national team. We'll see how far it goes. Now, the fun part, the forwards. Harry Kane, we know he's going to be starting.
Oh,
So now who else is going to be playing in these matches? Yeah, Bukayo Saka,
obviously.
Cole Palmer, Anthony Gordon, Eberici Eze, Madueke, Marcus Rashford, Danny Welbeck. Now, Danny is going to be an amazing super sub. Rashford, now that Rafinha for Brazil
Oh,
and Barcelona, he's injured, he may take that left-hand side over from Anthony Gordon. Before, I thought that was Anthony Gordon's place to hold, especially because he's had a good Champions League campaign. But Rashford, he's going to be starting, so all eyes are going to be back on him on that left side. Now, the right side, we know the normal battle: Kyle
yeah.
Saka, Cole Palmer. Phil Foden's not on this list, obviously, but
Nope.
it's always going to be between those two. I would love to hear your take on who you think is going to start on that right
It's
side.
obviously Bukayo Saka. Like,
Uh, obviously.
yeah, there's no like he's the first person like that is being written down in my opinion. Well, after Kerry Kane and Jordan Pickford, he's
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that it's Bukayo that's gonna. Yeah,
Do you have any players that you want to do a quick shout like, hey, maybe he can make it?
listen, I think it's gonna be Bowen. That's gonna be. I don't think. I think there's a very good chance that Madueke does not make it into the squad.
Mm,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's my.
To me, don't you think? I like it. Okay. I like Noni. Like, I'm a big
I mean, I
fan
love
of
Noni.
Manchester
I
City.
love
Yeah.
Noni.
Yeah.
Love him.
I'm a huge fan of Amandum FC. The fact that we are able to have two right
Yeah.
wingers that can come and interchange and they have different strengths, but they both have
Oh,
that left foot that's sweet.
yeah.
That's what I
They
truly
have similarities, like enough similarities, but enough like differences to impact a game. And if he gets into the England squad, I think Thomas is going to he's going to be thinking about the Arsenal like relationship, and that's going to be a factor in that decision making. But I don't know. I just feel like he's not going to make it in.
Yeah. I mean, it's always tough to like say people can't make it, but Miles Lewis Skelly, he's not looking like he's gonna go
Oh,
because he has lacks of games.
brutal.
Ayo Tamori, really good center back from Milan.
Yeah.
He doesn't play enough. He was sent home early. If Ivan Tony,
My God,
striker,
I keep forgetting about him.
yeah, well, he's over in Saudi
Yeah.
and he took the
Still, I thought
payday.
he was leaving.
He was looking to get at least a loan in January, but nobody could
Oh,
pay out his wages, and so he's
God.
kind
Oh
of
shit.
taking the hit for that. Kobe Mainu, he may be able to get in, depending on the form that Manchester United get into.
Yeah,
So
it'll
that's
come
one
down
a
to
lot.
that.
You have Liam Delap. He's had a very rough season, but he could be a backup if, let's say, Danny Welbeck gets hurt. Jack Grealish, he's been hurt for a while.
Yes,
Curtis
speaking
Jones,
of Welbeck, that's an
yeah.
interesting choice. I honestly also forgot about him. I was
Oh,
not
Danny's been killing
even
it
about
over at Brighton.
Danny.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I actually love him, and
yeah.
yeah, was not on my radar whatsoever. Because honestly, I kind of think, like, I feel like the striker situation for England is
Mhm.
it's looking rough. I mean, when Harry Kane retires, I mean, this is probably
Yeah,
going to be his last hurrah.
yeah,
Like, there's no one obvious to
yeah.
just like take his role and to be that guy that's going to score those goals and to be the reliable one. And if he gets injured, I just don't think that any of the options have what he has.
Yeah, Harry Kane has that weird balance of amazing playmaking ability and very just
Yeah,
good on ball striking. Like watching him for Bayern, he likes to drop back as a false nine. He loves to play in midfield
he's
sometimes in
literally
that
just
formation.
everywhere.
And I'm sure Tuchel is going to really take
And I
advantage
mean,
of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he does it for England also all the time. It
Exactly.
actually kind of drives me crazy a little bit, because I'm like, "You're everywhere except for up top," but he gets results, so who am I to go who am I?
Exactly. I like it. Well, that's the squad from us. We'll love to hear what our listeners think about with that. Who do you want to see make it? Who do you think is just not going to make it? Who do you feel as though should be taken off that list? We'd love to hear from all of our listeners. Now, we're going to the actual World Cup. So the English squad is in Group L. Now, you have England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. Now, Carla, this is going to be a very tight group. Very tight group.
I agree.
Croatia, they've made it to a World Cup final. Luka Modric, I think this might be his last one. I thought his last one was the last one, but he's like, let's go again. Ghana, they just fired their head coach. We'll see where the Black Stars go. And Panama, very surprising out of the CONCACAF. Very happy for them to be able to make it. Uh, but they look like the minnows in this group of sharks. So, Carla, love to start with you here. Now, where do you think England's going to rank in Group L? Do you think they're going to win the group, or do you think they're going to barely scrape by?
I think they no, I don't neither. I think they're gonna finish second in the group. I think Croatia is gonna finish first.
Okay.
I feel like they should come I think they should beat Ghana, beat Panama, and if they can get a draw against Croatia, I think that's a good result.
Hmm. I don't. So for me, I like where your head's at there because Croatia definitely poses a huge challenge, and they have the right. Like their team just doesn't age, but they're getting old. Like Luka is old,
Yeah.
even Rakitic is old,
Yeah.
and these guys are playing
So true.
minutes
I think he's like
in this
over
space.
40 now.
Yeah, Luka, yeah, over 40. You got some guys that are like 36, 38, and we're talking about legs going like it's a US summer. We know in some of these states it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
These breaks in between, we don't know. Croatia, I know it gets hot. Like they have supposedly the best yacht week of all time. I've never been, but please,
Oh,
people,
I've been
let me
dying to
know.
go to that for like
Yeah,
15.
I'm always want to go for King's Landing,
Yeah.
go see the Game of Thrones. I love over in Spain. So I would love to see. They might be better off with the sun, but Ghana,
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
true. That's a good point. And Ghana
yeah.
as well should be able to
One
handle.
thing that I've always noticed in World Cup matches, people always forget like it's just one match, and whatever the
Yeah.
temperature is outside, kind of affects that country because you're going into a new environment. So I'm very interested.
Where is that game against Croatia?
So the Croatia match is going to be an AT&T Stadium in Texas.
I think that one's enclosed, I think. So that might work out in England's favor.
Now, they're going from Texas to Boston,
Brutal.
and then from Boston, they're going to New
New
Jersey.
York. Yeah, New
Yeah,
Jersey. Where I
yeah.
am right
New
now.
York, New Jersey. Yep. That'd be a good match to go see. I might be like, hey, let's.
I'm trying. I'm desperately trying. FIFA refuses to let me go to any World Cup games. So I
I'm
am really
more
trying
for
to go to
looking to go to tickets, get tickets in Mexico. I really want to
Oh yeah,
watch.
that's also
Yeah, that's the plan. Like, I might just decide to take a backpack and just go to Guadalajara, Monterrey, and then Mexico City.
honestly,
You know?
it'll be a blast if you do that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't have any sponsors, but would love if anybody's listening to become a sponsor.
Yeah, so anyways, the Heat. You're spot on about the Heat. I think that's going to be a huge issue against Ghana in Boston.
Yeah, I mean, it would be very interesting to see a Brit in Texas. That is just an actual fish out of water. And so that I think that first match, I think the Heat might play a real big factor. AT&T Stadium is one of the better amenity spaces, so you never know. It might be like cooling within the space. We'll see. The match, England versus Ghana, though, in Boston in that heat, I don't know.
That's going to be
it
rough. That like it
might be
really
a
will.
real issue.
I mean, yeah. I if it's anything like what we saw last June in this part of the country, like they will have a hard time like handling those temperatures. But yeah, I mean, if I'm just basing it off of just pure quality and ability to like get it done, I just don't like without considering the other factors that are obviously just as important. But like, I think I see some of the English media and, talking about England's run to the World Cup, and they're making a lot of assumptions that England will
Hmm.
finish top of the group, that they'll beat these teams that are going to, be in the rest of the rounds. And yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to be that straightforward. Yeah. So I guess we'll see. But I do think that, like, they should get a win against Ghana. They should get a win against
Yeah.
Ghana and Panama, and potentially even Croatia.
Yeah. I mean, I like your point. Like Croatia looks like they're going to be the strongest. Tactically, they play very well. I just think the firepower on England is going to be as long as Harry Kane is good. I feel like that midfield engine between Declan Rice, Jude
Yeah,
Bellingham, that
exactly.
might be too much for a lot of these other squads that
Yeah,
can run.
absolutely.
Yeah, Modric, he keeps the ball. I listened to a podcast recently where Gareth Bale talked about the training methods. Tony Kroos and Luka Modric were the only two that didn't lose the ball ever in practice whenever they did any of their drills. If Luka Modric can keep that going at least 70 minutes every match in this World Cup, it'll be definitely a super tough matchup for
Yeah,
England. But I feel my future thought is England is gonna run away with this group, honestly.
really.
I feel so
Big wins,
they're
easy.
I feel they're gonna score like 3 goals against Panama. I feel as though they're gonna
Yeah,
score at least 2
I agree.
against Ghana. I feel as though they're gonna score at least 2 against Croatia to win. I feel as though they're gonna win all 3 of their matches. Just looking at the firepower that they do have compared to what they've had in the past, where they've had their golden generation with Wayne Rooney, with David Beckham, with Steven Gerrard, and all of their older generation, which was considered their golden one, but they never made a European final. This squad has made multiple finals together. They've lost together.
True.
And
Yeah.
so I feel as though this is the culmination to try to get there and win. I don't. So this leads us into our final point, which is like, how far do you think they'll go? I feel as though they can make it all the way up until the semis. I just
Same.
don't see them beating Germany. I don't see them beating France, and I don't see them beating Argentina. Those are the 3 other squads that I see are gonna make it to the final. What about you, Carla?
And Spain also. Um,
I think Spain might be I don't know if they'll make it. I think they'll be run ragged by the end of this tournament.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wish we could get into that.
Let's get into it.
Uh, yeah, I know. And we can, but so this is, I was looking at England's run, and there is a possibility. So in the semis, best case scenario, they would be playing against Argentina in the
Yeah.
semis, or
That's
Portugal, depending on where they end, like
Portugal
eventually.
going that far. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on Portugal. I think I agree. I don't think that they'll make it that far either. I think they can make it to the quarterfinals, so easy.
Mhm.
It would be a little bit of a surprise, I think, if they made it to the semis. But um, I agree. I think that the semis is kind of as far as they would get, and if they were to make it to the final, then if they were to beat Argentina and go to the final, according to the most likely scenarios based off of a bunch of other groups and
Mhm.
performances, they would either be facing Spain or France. I haven't looked at Spain's trajectory to say if I agree with that or not. This is like just, just looking at the large number of articles they've mapped out.
Yeah.
Because, it's hard because when you have, like, if you finish first in the group or second in the group, then you might face this one or this one. There's so many, it's so unpredictable, especially at this stage. So either way, yeah, I agree. Argentina, France, Spain. You said Germany also?
Yeah, I actually really like
Yeah,
this.
I agree. Yeah, I think,
Musiala came back, and I'm like, they got him. They got that other kid from Bayern, Carl. I want to say, I like their squad a lot.
yeah, I do too. I sometimes I like watching them also, but you know what? I also had high expectations for them in the Euros. Look what happened.
Yeah,
I had really high hopes for them, and I think they've been trying to
yeah. It's
go
like a
on this
weird.
great run for a while.
It's a weird transition for them because a lot of their pace on the wings kind of getting older now. You have Leroy Sané
Yeah,
as well as Serge Gnabry. Like those two would be running on the wings like crazy. And then at the World, like at the Euro, it just didn't look right. They looked
Yeah.
gas.
Yeah.
And you can see like the Germans now are completely retooling, as Germans could possibly do again, retooling a lot of different things. They're
Yeah.
always in, they're always in the car kitchen, just making new parts,
Yeah.
getting new players interchanged in and out, and you're just like, oh, okay, like I didn't know that you had that in you. Okay, Germany, I'm not
Yeah.
expecting like Germany is always a wild card in these World Cups. You
And
can,
they have so much talent.
yeah,
And I mean, like on a good day, like they're hard. Like there's very few teams that can beat them.
very true. I mean, let's get back into the Spain piece though.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, let's get into it because I'd love to hear your take. Who do you think will win this World Cup?
France.
And who do you think they'll play against? You think Spain?
Yeah.
Okay. No, this is
But, or
where
like maybe Argentina also, you know?
see, I think Argentina got away with the nostalgia factor from FIFA, especially because in that semifinal match against the Netherlands, they let Messi get away with not calling a red card multiple times.
Yeah.
And this is because everybody wanted to see that France versus Argentina World Cup final. They didn't want the Netherlands in it.
Yeah.
And so I feel as though this might be an Argentinian like blow up this year. Like
Yeah.
it could be, but that squad is a sum of their parts. Like individually, you're just like, okay, they're good players. They're not amazing, but
Completely agree.
yeah, like they're
They're just like so difficult to play against. Like, oh
yes,
my God, what an
pressing like
irritating group of
mad
people.
dogs. Yeah, pressing like mad
Yeah,
dogs.
it is so like, yeah, it is. Oh my gosh, they just like exhaust their opponents. They're just so rough. They make their opponents miserable. And
Yeah.
obviously, you have the messy factor, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'll always get a little bit of magic from the King Pichichi. So yeah, we'll see with Argentina, Spain. I feel as though after playing all of these tournaments, Yamal's gotten older. A lot of their players are going to be playing a lot of matches. Zubimendi, who was playing for them, I mean, he's playing a lot of matches for us, and you can see he's getting tired. Marino's going to be coming back from break. Their wings and Williams and Yamal, like amazing, young, talented, know how to just get open and score goals. They don't really rely on a striker, but sometimes it's nice to just have a random goal pop up from nowhere. Cucurella, left back. I kind of don't really rate their center back pairing. And
Yeah.
Unai Simon is starting in goal for them. So yeah, I mean, as a team, it's but also I have to stop looking at it as FIFA ratings because I'm just thinking about it. So yeah, as a team, they did win the Euro. It's very hard to win the Euros, so I could see them making it probably to the quarters. I can see them making it to the quarter.
Yeah, that really only the quarters.
Yeah, I feel as though this tournament is just going to be so. I feel as though this tournament is just going to throw everybody for a loop.
I I agree also.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think and I just think that people do not understand how exhausting it is to travel around this country. Like,
Yeah.
it is not gonna be easy. They're gonna have like, there's gonna be hours of traveling in between cities. It's just not it's gonna be a very, like, intense, like, an intense tournament for these players, especially
Very
after
true.
coming from a long season. Like, all of these World Cup players are playing at elite levels for their clubs, right? Like,
Yeah.
they've all been in intense runs in their domestic leagues, in European competitions. Like, yeah, I do agree with that, but I don't know. I just think that, like, Spain is they can score a shit ton of goals.
Yeah.
Like they can just score nonstop. And, I think that that just helps put them over the edge. I just don't see, I just don't see that there could be that many like France. I don't see them beating France. Mm,
Yeah, I can see that.
I can't see them beating maybe Germany, honestly, depending on how
Mm.
Germany feels like playing that day.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, some of these squads, you're just like, "You are better than what you're showing right now."
Yeah.
We're looking at Brazil. I'm looking at Brazil right now. They should be better, and they don't look good.
No,
Like
yeah,
they won against Croatia in a friendly, but those are both B squad like
yeah,
players, you
yeah.
know?
Really,
So,
like the Brazil situation is really bizarre, honestly.
well, I mean, you had Romario, you had Ronaldo, you had Ronaldinho, and right now it's just no flair. It's no fun. Watching like some of these Brazilian like matches up close and personal, it is like these matches are physical. Like they want to break legs and not have people do tricks anymore. Like they feel as though why are you trying to have tricks? Because a lot of the time it's not really rated unless it like works. Other times people are just they're going to fight you.
I
In
mean,
work football,
that's what's happening with the sport as a whole,
yeah,
like
yeah,
all
people are
around.
fighting way more. We had a topic on that recently where a lot of like people are just fighting people instead of like actively trying to beat them on the pitch. They're literally just going out and like, no, let's fight.
Yeah,
Break your
yeah.
leg.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the physicality of it, the competition, the high expectations, the competitiveness. I think it's just like leading to chaos. But you know what? I will say that Brazil, the advantage that they will have is that I think all of their games, I'm pretty sure, at least the group stage games at least, are in regions where there is a very high population of Brazilians. So there's the one Brazil here at MetLife. I forget who they're playing, but that's gonna like, MetLife is 20 minutes away from like the Brazilian center of the New York, New Jersey region. Like that,
Yep.
I was in those stadiums for the Club World Cup, and those Brazilian clubs that were, playing Fluminense playing against Dortmund. The entire state, I mean, 80% of the people in the stadiums were Brazilian. Like,
Yeah.
and the ones who weren't Brazilian were still showing up for the Brazilian side.
Yeah.
So I do think that like that is going to be a significant advantage because yeah, they just like they they roll hard.
Yeah. I was also for Club World Cup. I got to see Palmeiras versus Al Hilal.
Oh, I did not go to that one. That was like one of the only ones in my life I didn't go to.
Yeah, that one I think that's probably one of the reasons as to why I was so happy to go to Brazil and just enjoy. But like seeing how the stadium was the Moroccans and then as well as the Brazilians, like you could see the culture class, but they rocked out in that stadium. Like it
Yeah,
was really
I heard that and I had friends there. They said they had a blast in that stadium that day.
yeah, that stadium was rocking that day. Some of the some of the best like just seat watching of the match. Like you didn't even have to just watch the match. You could watch just like the energy in the crowd. Amazing to see. So I got to give big ups to both the Moroccan fans as well as
Yeah, they were
the
so good.
fans. So. But really appreciative, Carlo, for coming on today. Where can the people find you?
Instagram, I guess, at Carla Espinal.
All right. Well, people, thank y'all again for our episode on World Cup. Please like and subscribe. Give us some love. And boys watch footy. It's your boy E. It's your girl Carla. We peacing out.
Thanks.